as Bristol City host Arsenal. Well, both sides were on the road last weekend. Bristol City picked up another point, drawing 1-1 with Birmingham, while Arsenal comfortably beat North London rivals Tottenham. But the big news coming out of the Gunners' camp in the last week is that manager Joe Montemurro is to step away from the club. He led to their first Super League title for 7 years in 2019 at the end of the season. They might be all but out of the title challenge, but the race for that third Champions League spot between themselves and Manchester United is very much on. Well, for team news, it's 2 changes to the Bristol City side that drew with Birmingham last Sunday. There is no Ebony Salmon for a second successive home game, despite the forward starting recent matches at Tottenham and Birmingham. Elsewhere, Ella Mastrantonio drops to the bench as both Faye Bryson and Amy Palmer come into the side. Meanwhile, former gunner Carly Humphrey also starts. It's also 2 changes for Arsenal from the team that beat Tottenham. Lydia Williams returns in goal, replacing Manuela Zinsberger between the sticks. There's also a change in defence, with Katie McCabe dropping to the bench as Leonie Meyer makes her first start in the Women's Super League since December. The Gunners are also boosted by the return of Beth Mead following suspension. The 25-year-old is among the substitutes. Well, West Ham's win at Reading yesterday means that Bristol City are just a point clear of bottom side Aston Villa, who have 2 games in hand and far superior goal difference. Goalkeeper Sophie Bagley has hailed the progression that Bristol City have made over the course of the season so far, as they come towards the business end of it, as Matt Beard described in the week. And with those teams having games in hand around them, it's not so much in their hands. But Matt Beard has said that all his side can do is win their games and hope for the best. As both sets of players take the knee before kick-off, showing solidarity in the continued fight against racism. And it will be Bristol City in their red shirts to get us underway, kicking from left to right, as you see it on the screen, on the blow of referee Sarah Garrett's whistle in the bright sunshine in Bath at Twerton Park this afternoon. Should Bristol City avoid defeat, it would be their longest unbeaten run in the WSL since February 2019, following back-to-back draws against Tottenham and Birmingham. They come up against an Arsenal side in fine form, 4 successive wins, keeping 4 successive clean sheets in those 4 victories too. They also have 3 consecutive wins on the road. That's having gone 4 without a win away from home. As they give away possession early on here, Bristol City can try and commit some bodies forward. It's a brilliant run, this, from Purfield, eventually lost out. Arsenal can try and settle in the early stages. Well, the previous 4 meetings between these sides have all been played at Arsenal. Bristol City, though, have beaten the Gunners just once in their previous 17 WSL meetings. A 2-0 win back in 2014, nearly 7 years ago. Finished 3-1 back in October, but it was Bristol City who took the lead that afternoon. Abby Harrison after 6 minutes. Arsenal trying to play on the front foot here, though. Good feet from Jordan Nobbs. This is Danielle van der Donk. Roared off to Nobbs again. Lost out, though, as Bristol City can try and play their way forward. Positive run, this from Pike. Unable to thread it through, though. And it was Williams off her line to clear. Purfield's header, and it's an Arsenal throw. Arsenal this afternoon coming up against a Bristol City side who have certainly had an improved turn of form since the turn of the year, and really since Matt Beer took over. Just 1 defeat from 4 in the WSL going into this one. This is Kim Little. Nice little turn to get away from Humphrey. Now Rord. Threads it into van der Donk. Now Miedema. Strike across goal into the corner. And Arsenal, within 4 minutes, break the deadlock. And of course, it's Vivianne Miedema. It was the Dutch trio linking up. Rord, van der Donk, and then Miedema with the finishing touch. And it's Bristol City 0, Arsenal 1 in the very early stages here at Twerton Park. And Miedema, who scores her 13th goal against Bristol City. It's the most of any player against any opponent in WSL history. Robbins will be pretty sick of the sight of the Dutch forward. She loves scoring against today's opponents, and she's at it again. It's all about Bristol City's reaction now. Of course, last season, Arsenal broke the Women's Super League record for the heaviest win over an opponent, beating Bristol City 11-1. It's a very good start to this game from the Gunners. Helped on by Pike after Harrison's flick. Palmer's knocked down, picked up by Little. Belty's ball forward into Rord. Now Miedema tried to play it wide to Nobbs. It nearly broke for Rord again. Here's Nobbs. Ford trying to turn. Nobbs again. Lifts it towards the far post. It was a vital interception with Miedema lurking. But it's all Arsenal in the early stages. They're on the hunt for a second here. Here's Nobbs again. Miedema. Lovely control. Van der Donk into Rord, tried to flick it beyond Palmer to try and create a bit of room. Well, despite the early goal Bristol City have conceded, I'm sure that Matt Beard's game plan won't completely go out of the window. They'll still try and stay as compact as possible and limit Arsenal to as little opportunity as possible in front of goal. Bagley beating Miedemar to the ball. Nobbs trying to control. Can't get out of their own half at the moment, Bristol City. This is Van der Donk. Miedemar, brilliant turn again. Marritt's in a foot race with Daniels and just about gave it away to Pike. Good ball through that from Harrison. Pike unable to get there though, ahead of Lotte Wubben-Moy. Brilliant improvisation, that from Jill Roord. Picked up here by Van der Donk. The advantage was with Arsenal, who win a free kick. Taken quickly by Van der Donk. Attempted 1-2 between Ford and Meyer. Ford clattered into Palmer. It's a Bristol City free kick. Ford, who, alongside Lydia Williams and Bristol City's Anna Mastrantonio, they've all been called up to the Australian squad for the forthcoming international break. Daniels trying to make the most of that crossfield ball. Well seen out by Noel Moritz. Bristol City now with an opportunity to press high, but Arsenal playing their way round the press, but lost out to Humphrey. In-step Velty to clear, and Roord can try and bring it away here for Arsenal. Advantage with the Gunners as Nobbs picks up possession on the right. The cross is deep and is picked up here by Ford. Miedemar. Eventually cleared by Humphrey. But Arsenal are in the mood, there's no doubt about that. They started this game with a real good intensity. Helped, of course, having broken the deadlock so early on through Miedemar. Just 3 minutes gone on the clock when she opened the scoring. Miedemar, who scored her 20th in all competitions in the North London derby last weekend. It's the third successive season she's managed 20+ goals in all competitions. Van der Donk into Roord. Slipped through for Nobbs. As Evans tries to get there first, Nobbs gets it across and Bagley just does enough to tip it over the crossbar. And a touch that was needed from the 24-year-old goalkeeper with Miedemar at the far post. You don't need me to tell you that she'll have a busy afternoon's work. Sophie Baggerly. Little's delivery, up went Van der Donk. In the end, Arsenal able to bring it down through Little. This is Nobbs. Velti across to Wubben-Moy. Good press this from Bristol City. Williams eventually has to join in to find Maya, who can take it forward here for Arsenal. Velti's forward pass, looking for Van der Donk. Baggerly, though, with the help of their defenders, able to gather ahead of the Dutch midfielder, and Gemma Evans has taken a knock from her own goalkeeper for her trouble. Evans, who was named in Gemma Granger's first Welsh squad this week. Bristol City will be hoping that this isn't too serious for Gemma Evans. They do have a few defenders on the bench, the likes of Rafferty, Jones, Lazel. Although Baggerly also looks in trouble. Which would be a real concern for Bristol City if their goalkeeper is forced off the pitch. She's played in all but one of Bristol City's Women's Super League games this season. The only one she missed was a 4-0 defeat against Everton. Benedict Haaland made her Women's Super League debut that day, and is on the bench this afternoon, the Norwegian goalkeeper. Well, it's been a pretty relentless start, this, from Arsenal. Bristol City might be pleased to have that breather, if anything, to try and relax things and take some tempo out of the game. Humphrey able to hook the ball onto Harrison. Lovely control from the Scottish forward, tried to thread it through for Pike. Seen back to the goalkeeper by Wilburn Moy as Williams rolls out to Velty. Meyer onto Van der Donk. Wellings will chase this as Velty clears for Arsenal, helped on by Van der Donk, but in steps Bryson. Good control from Harrison. Can she get a cross in here? Towards the back post, it came off the back of Wellings. And Arsenal are able to play their way up the right channel. Wellings, who scored last weekend against Birmingham, against their former club. Cross just behind her on that occasion, but excellent work from Abby Harrison, who Molly Pike, I think, will be trying to support as much as possible this afternoon to ensure it's not quite as difficult for her up front as it would be if she was completely on her own. They were home to Manchester City last time they were without Ebony Salmon, and it was a difficult evening for Abby Harrison that night, up front on her own. Here's Pike, lost out to Rord. Little was fouled off the ball, but Arsenal retain possession as Van der Donk flicks it back to Velty. In the end, Meyer just smashing the ball clear. Bristol City, though, gaining in confidence and certainly committing more red shirts forward. Evans looks forward. Ritz will try and see it out of play and does just that, and actually drew a foul from Perfield too. Miedemar turns, may have been caught, but Arsenal continue. Van der Donk's ball forward over hit. This ball picked up by Pike. What a turn that is as well from the Everton loanee. Molly Pike, who can play it through for Harrison here. Lotta Wilburn-Moy trying to intercept. Bristol City playing some good stuff here. Bit of a slow start and Certainly for the first 10-15 minutes, it was all Arsenal, but they've grown into the contest. And that break in play I mentioned as they put the ball out of play, when both Bagley and Evans went down, may well have helped them just settle things down, settle themselves down, and allow them to grow into the game. Dyson's ball forward. Williams watched the bounce and was able to claim. That was courageous play from Caitlin Ford. Skills with a couple of fouls on the Australian. Belty into Miedemar. Leah Belty again. Miedemar, roared, trying to slip it through both Van der Donk and Miedemar had made similar runs. Little crossfield, ambitious and overhit, looking for Van der Donk. Seen out of play by Gemma Purfield. Former Liverpool player who's enjoying a lot more game time this season than last campaign. Started just one league game for Liverpool last season. Has played in all but one in the Women's Super League this campaign for Bristol City. Lotte Wubben-Moy. Long ball forward, chased by Miedemar and well watched by Gemma Evans, who was able to nod back to Bagley and got enough on the header too. Pike into Humphrey, smart turn. Now Wellings. Able to drive forward and inside here, Wellings. Purfield. Cleared by Velty, but back towards her own corner flag as Moritz gives Lotte Wubben-Moy the chance to clear. Wellings looking for Harrison. Back to Wellings it went, but Harrison came back from an offside position. Velty gave it away. Palmer through to Harrison, but Velty covers and makes amends. Moy into Nobbs. Van der Donk able to ride the challenge from Bryson. And now a bit of space for Caitlin Ford. Maya makes the run inside of her. Ford again. In step Bryson, but Ford rides that challenge too. Rord. Maya looking for Ford once again. Crossed into Miedemar, off the post. Nobbs on the rebound. Somehow blocked again. Miedemar once more. And now Rord skills with the block that time. Courageous stuff this from Bristol City. Little wide to Nobbs. Lifted in, but cleared away by Gemma Evans. And Arsenal, who have really threatened in the last 5 or 10 minutes, suddenly with a bit of an onslaught. Bristol City, though, staying ever so resilient. Miedemar's effort coming back off the post, and the follow-up from Nobbs, it was smashed towards goal, but somehow blocked from in front of the goal line. Might have even been Bagley with the save. Well won back by Evans as Bagley clears. Maya goes back to Williams. Van der Donk, plenty of space ahead of her. Slips it through beautifully for Miedemar, who gets there ahead of Perfield too. And in the end, Evans with a brilliant recovery tackle to put the ball out of play for a corner. Well, approaching the last 15 minutes of the first half, Arsenal a goal to the good, and approaching a period in the game where Arsenal have been very strong this season. They've scored 13 goals in the last 15 minutes of first halves this season in the WSL, and that's without conceding in that time frame at all this season in the league. Can they edge further ahead just after the half-hour mark? Headed away by Harrison. Moy onto Little. Twisting and turning and getting a cross away, which was deflected. Well, I wouldn't usually give goal alerts, but it's good news for Arsenal fans because Brighton and Hove Albion have taken the lead against Manchester United. Inessa Cagman has scored from the penalty spot. Here's Rord. Corner went short as Van der Donk helped it on to Little. Now Nobbs. Good angle this for a cross. Headed away, and Miedemar will try and pick up the loose ball here. Teasing cross from Miedemar into what would have been a dangerous area. Now Nobbs. Miedemar drives on. Slipped it through for Nobbs, unable to get away from the last challenge. It was Humphrey's interception. As Skills battles away with Maya and finds Wellings up the line. She's dispossessed by Ford, and Arsenal can try and come forward again. Well, they've certainly stepped it up a gear or two, Arsenal, despite Rord unable to find that pass out wide on that occasion. Velty under a bit of pressure here. Goes back to Williams. Chased down by Humphrey, but manages to find Caitlin Ford. And now Van der Donk, on to Maya. Plenty of space for her initially, but it was Bryson who came back to make the challenge. As Van der Donk loses out to Gemma Evans. Once again, the offside flag raised against Abby Harrison. Broad providing an option from the throw. Velty over to Wubben-Moy. Lovely ball through. Maya trying to help it on to Miedemar. Van der Donk turns and finds Caitlin Ford. Wubben-Moy. Roared. Good first touch that from Jill Roard. Miedemar makes a run off the shoulder. Roard slips it through for Ford, who cuts it across, and it was an important interception from Kira Skills. Arsenal corner. Skills, who's on loan from Reading and has certainly embedded herself into an important part of Bristol City's back line. Well, a number of players crowding Sophie Bagley inside the 6-yard area. It's a dangerous corner. Bagley did enough to get her fists on it. And it's off the crossbar in the end. It was the flick-on header from Miedemar.
Mark, do you want me to send the video back quick? I'll go and sit and have that.
Well, it's a couple of times now Arsenal have hit the woodwork. They haven't really grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck, so to speak, since going ahead, at least for a sustained period, as we probably would have expected, but they're still putting pressure on the Bristol City goal. Aiming for that second to give them a little bit of breathing space. And they'll be more than aware that Bristol City have certainly had their moments going forward. Maya. Miedemar chases and is up against Skills here and does well to beat the Reading Loney. Still going Miedemar, and it comes off the post again. It would have been a wonderful individual goal from Vivian Miedemar. It was a well-disguised finish. It looked like she was going to try and bend it towards the far corner, but cut it back towards the near post. Sophie Bagley was beaten. Unfortunately for Miedemar, the post wasn't. Claimed by Bagley. Rather less than impressive corner from Little, certainly by her standards. Van der Donk collects deep. Here's Maya. Velty clips it forward, cut out by Bryson. As Miedemar intercepts Amy Palmer's forward pass. Harrison battling away with Maya as Miedemar helps it inside to Rord. Now Wilburn Moy. Miedemar trying to scamper onto the loose ball. Bryson did enough to help it back to Bagley. Just got there ahead of the Dutch forward. Here's Velty. A lot of space here for Van der Donk. Nobbs trying to thread it through for Ford. It might ricochet towards Moritz here. Arsenal players queuing up, and it was an important block from Jana Daniels, stopping the cross from the Swiss fullback Moritz. Little's delivery, headed away off the line. Wilburn Moy. Teed up Rord, it's blocked again. Wilburn Moy once more. And eventually picked up by Pike, who sends it forward. Nobbs kept it in play. Van der Donk. Cries of step there from Bristol City boss Matt Beard, who saw that as a chance for his side to press again. Here's Caitlin Ford though, and that was a brave header from Gemma Evans. Ford penalised for a high foot. Little turns beautifully away from three. Miedemar on to Wilburn Moy. Wonderful play that from Leah Velti. Arsenal looked like for a moment they could have been in trouble. Meyer on to Miedemar. Meyer again. Miedemar on to Nobbs. Nobbs with the delivery. Miedemar might keep this in play. Did so brilliantly and may have won a side of throw too. Wonderful dummy from Ford. Nobbs through to Miedemar. And Miedemar across to Van der Donk. 2-0 Arsenal before half-time. A scintillatingly brilliant move from the Gunners. And finished off by Danielle Van der Donk for her first goal for Arsenal since October. Unselfishly set up by Miedemar, returning the favour after Van der Donk set her up for the first goal. And it was Danielle Van der Donk who passed the ball into the corner to give Arsenal that little bit of breathing space before half-time. They had been knocking at the door, and it's the 14th time they've scored in the final 15 minutes of the first half of the Women's Super League this season. They finished first half strongly, and they've done the same again this afternoon. Could even be on the hunt for a third. Van der Donk over the top looking for Ford. Bryson just about did enough to keep it away from the Australian. Well, that goal will probably act as a bit of a double sucker punch for Bristol City. As we go into half-time on the blow of Sarah Garrett's whistle, Bristol City 0, Arsenal 2. Vivian Miedemar, after just 4 minutes, opening the scoring with a low drive across goal, which found the bottom corner. And it was goal scorer turned provider for Miedemar as she set up Dutch teammate Van der Donk for the second just before half-time. After what was a brilliant Arsenal move, they carved Bristol City open and deservedly lead 2-0 going into the break. And for Bristol City, they'll be disappointed to have conceded that second so close to half-time as well. 1-0, they'd have probably taken having conceded early on, but that second means that Matt Beard has a big half-time team talk ahead of him. So from half-time here at Twyton Park, Bristol City 0, Arsenal 2.